Hey guys, it's Bieber. So today we have a guest joining us. Her name is Darcy. She is a friend of the family of Xavior Harrleson, the missing baby out of Iowa, who's been missing a little over a month, right?
Yeah.
Very scary, very sad. He went missing from a trailer home park, should I say. So we're just going to dive in. Darcy, why don't you tell me how you're involved, how you know Xavier, and how you kind of got, up to speed, like involved, like you are in the trenches with this family.
I've known Sarah, Xavier's mom, for 14 plus years. I've known Xavier since the day before he was born. I received a telephone call because there was an issue. Sarah and I quit talking middle of October of 2020. And I didn't physically see her again until June 1st of 2021. I became aware about 10:30 at night, Thursday, May 27th, that Xavier was missing.
Day of.
First day of. First thing I did was I called his mom. And my first reaction was, what the hell's going on?
Right.
And she told me that he was missing. My first reaction was, have you talked to Travis, his dad? Or Josh, his brother? And she said that neither one of them had heard from him. So after I got off the phone with Sarah, I messaged both Josh and Travis. Once I heard back from them saying that they hadn't heard anything, I knew right away that somebody had taken him. It was not in Xavier's character to run away, to leave. First of all, if he was going to run away, he would have taken his Nintendo Switch.
Right.
And food with him. And he didn't. His Nintendo was still at home. His bikes are both at home. I had a family emergency on Saturday, the 29th of May, and had to leave town for a couple of days. So I went over on the 1st. When I got there on the 1st, there was Sarah, Travis, Travis's mom, Travis's sister-in-law, and Sarah's sister.
So just real quick, the bicycle was in the home.
Yeah, it never left the house.
Okay.
It's been in the house the entire time.
Okay. And can you just, so people don't know, can you explain who in the, who those people are that you said was there when you arrived?
So there was
Xavier. Who are they?
They are his mom, his dad, his grandma, and 2 of his aunts.
Okay.
And a cousin.
Travis is the dad and Sarah is Xavier's mother.
Yes.
Okay.
And Josh is his brother.
Right, correct. And he is 18, yes?
18 and a half.
And they live away, like 45 miles away, correct? Dad and brother live away, nowhere near there, so.
Yep. So once I became aware that they hadn't heard from him, I said from the get-go that somebody had taken him. I've also made the comment that I know Sarah well enough to know that she'd never do anything to harm either one of her children.
Right.
And I've also made the comment, and I've said this to Sarah, I could, not so much now, but in the heat of the moment, overreacting and causing harm, I could see something like that. But in a scenario like that, we would have found her body next to his because she would have taken her own life and it would have been ruled a homicide, suicide situation. And I honestly believe that.
Right. Well, now, tell the viewers or anybody who may watch this, she has a disability, correct? Could you speak on that a little bit?
She has what's called CMT. It's a form of muscular dystrophy that affects the muscles and the nerves in her limbs.
Okay. And physical limitations, does she have any, and can you list them?
She lost her leg just below the kneecap approximately 4 years ago.
Okay.
So, and okay, so the going thing has been that out of the last 7 years, she spent the 4th of July in the hospital the last, or 5 out of those 7 years because of infections and stuff.
And real quickly, I know that there was a rumor going around. I don't know if you are, segueing into that, but there was a rumor going around that mom was gone the next days, and she wasn't there. She moved this, that, and other. But I mean, didn't she spend some time in the hospital after?
Yes, after Xavier went missing. Okay, she stayed in the trailer. The first time that I know of that she left the trailer was June 1st when she rode with me to go check the mail at the post office there in Monty.
Okay.
And then.
And she also doesn't have a vehicle.
Nope, not a running vehicle.
Not a running vehicle. Okay.
So I took her to the post office, ran a couple errands to grab a couple groceries. When I talked to her Thursday night, the first night of him missing, she had told me that the authorities wanted her to stay home in case he came home.
Right.
So, like I said, as far as I know, the first time she left the trailer was on June 1st, the afternoon of June 1st, when I took her somewhere. And on that first outing, we were approached by one of the neighbors. And since then, when I go in and out of the trailer, I have my windows up. 9 times out of 10, I pull to the back of the trailer for her to get in. And that way, when we're pulling out of the trailer, my windows are up and the doors are locked so that nobody can approach us.
And sometimes you may have like a grandchild or something like that with you, and it's a very adult fluid situation, and the media's, like the internet can be crazy. You have to protect yourself, which is one of the reasons why you haven't done this, or Sarah. I'm not going to speak for her, but so I think it's insanity. It's understandable.
The only reason I'm doing this is because so the night of the benefit, I felt honored because both Sarah and Travis said that it was okay for me to go up on stage with the family, even though I'm not biologically related.
Right.
So I went up on stage, and another YouTuber assumed that I was Sarah, and was totally wrong because I'm not Sarah.
Well, and there was some ugly accusations. Now, I do want to say this before. I just want to throw out a disclaimer for those that are going to watch this. Whatever Darcy feels like saying, this is her story. This is her truth. She was accused in a public way, so she wants to address in a public way. She knows the baby personally. She spent years with this child. She's very close to this child, so it's very much a loss for her as well. It is zero loss for me or another content creator that come and talk about these cases. I want to also throw this out there. Everybody, every content creator on the platform has the right to do with it what you will. I am not saying that. But I do think for these reasons that Darcy, she's so kind to come up here and speak with us on behalf of this baby and on behalf of the mother and the family, with permission, that we be responsible. As content creators, we need to be responsible. We need to have our ducks in a row, or we need to shut up. Because at the end of the day, it's about a missing baby. It's not about oohs and ahs. It's not about talking so fast we don't even know what's flying out of our mouth. And I just think it's important to be responsible. I just throw it out there for anybody who wants to see. So this is your story. Feel free to tell it.
And I agree with that 100%. At the end of the day, all that matters is finding Xavier and bringing him home.
No matter who's responsible.
That's right.
Including mom.
Right.
It doesn't even matter. As long as the baby is found, the end result is the same. He's missing and he needs to be found, period.
And I agree with that 100%. So when we were there on the 1st, I'd heard some of the rumors and stuff that were going around. We live in small town Iowa.
For sure.
And so I had approached both Travis and Sarah and said, you know, not that I want to, but I would go on and speak on behalf of them if they both agreed. Right. Sarah agreed, Travis didn't. Out of respect, then I'm not going to do it.
For sure.
So on the first, we all had a discussion as to what we thought was our best next thing to do. We decided to start hanging flyers. And then a couple days after that, Molly's movement got involved, and thank God for them, because they've helped us, guide us in ways that we probably wouldn't have thought of.
Yeah, Tina Gaff, I think maybe her name.
Yeah, and Joy. Amazing. Yeah, they are amazing. They are very amazing and wonderful people. Tina, when prior to the benefit, Sarah and myself spent 4 to 5 hours stuffing envelopes. We are planning on sending his flyers, 2 flyers to every campground in the state of Iowa. Once we're done with that, then we're going to, within 30 miles of the borders, 60 miles, and so on, until we've got the whole nation covered with campgrounds.
Right.
And they've helped us set up links so that anybody across the nation, across the world, as far as I'm concerned, that want to help put up flyers, they can send a request and they will be sent. 25 flyers.
People at their own, discretion can do as they will. They don't have to wait, or they can just do it. We're going to talk too about the change.org stuff and everything else. There was a lot of money raised at this benefit. It did really well. Yeah. And it's kind of, it's kind of disheartening when you have such a wonderful thing, such a moving event that, people, that's something else. The whole community is coming together with their bare hands and putting this into fruition. And this organization, the Molly, what is it? The Molly Tibbetts.
Molly's Movement Finding Others.
Molly's Movement Finding Others. They're doing great work. And it's Molly Tibbetts, which is a local case to Iowa. We're not going to get into it because I'm really limited with it. But I do know that they do it because of that case. And I just want to say too, there's been floating around this negative energy, but Brother has not been said involved. Brother's been cooperative, and at the benefit on the concert stage, you were not the one in the chair. I mean, you were the one in the chair. It was not Sarah, and it was misinformation about the brother. And we're definitely not going to accuse y'all of anything. So, is there anything else about that particular situation with false information you want to clear up? I know there was a rumor that she threw a party. I know there was something else about she moved.
Yeah.
I mean, anything you want to wrap up, that way we can maybe at least put something back into Pandora's box, you know.
Okay. So the night, it was the Saturday, so it would have been May 29th. She supposedly had a party. That is not what happened. I happen to know because I was on the phone talking to her from my hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
It was Xavier's, it was mom, dad, brother, and extended family that was there.
Mm-hmm.
His dad, Travis, and some of his family members had been out at the lake. This was day 2 that they had sent divers into the lake looking for Xavier. Sorry, you'll have to excuse me.
You're okay. You're okay. It's all right, hon.
And they had stopped by Sarah's to talk about how the day had gone. The things that I've read and seen on social media about this family and the way that they're being treated is just not right. It's not fair. At the end of the day, all that matters is finding Xavier and bringing him home. He's been gone way too long. Like I said, I've known him his whole life. He wouldn't have ran away. I have said from the time that I know Travis told me that he hadn't heard from him, I've said somebody's taking him. Now, be it somebody that he thought he knew and trusted, or be it a stranger, I don't know.
Or somebody's an opportunistic. I mean,
yeah,
we can't in one, like for me, I can't in one thing scream from the rooftops, everybody pay attention to our children, these things are happening, in one breath, and then in the next breath saying, oh no, an abduction is unheard of. And I always say this too, this is not in the middle of nowhere. This is in broad daylight. There it is. I'm going to pull that up while we're talking about it. And just kind of, and you can keep talking, but I'm just going to show, just what it looks like. So
that's the one way in and out of the trailer court. The gravel area is the one way in and out to the storage units that's set.
So this is the entrance to the trailer court.
Yep.
This is the mini storage it's completely built in front, and this is an old Google Maps. So, but this gravel road is here, and it's like saturated with rocks. This is a full mini storage right now, and there is no cameras at all. And let's see, I'm just trying to go, and this is the trailer court. And I'm going to back out a little bit. That way everybody can see. It is literally one way in and one way out. And so, and here's the surrounding areas. Now, down here, you have, let me just do this. So, and let's see. I'm just trying to get down there. But there is this Casey's is not here anymore, correct?
Correct. It's now a parking lot for the car lot that's downtown in Montezuma.
Okay. And this right here, this blue and white little small building, this is called a Dairy or Burger King.
Dairy King.
Dairy King. Oh, I knew it was 2 variations of words. But let's see. And this is, and if you go this way, correct, you will be at which highway?
That's Highway 63. And if you head north, like you're going, 8 miles takes you to I-80, and you can go east or west.
So, and so this is not, this is not downtown, but this is not in the middle of, it's not. And this was broad daylight.
Right on the edge of, it's right on the north edge of Monty, coming in on Highway 63 south.
So, and have y'all heard anything about ring cameras or, well, let me not say that, because we're not going to, do people generally, to your knowledge, have cameras and stuff on their doors in the trailer park?
There are a few surveillance cameras on a couple different trailers that I know of because you can see them as you drive by. But I'm not exactly sure as to how many there actually are in the trailer
But you
court.
have seen some, so it's fair to say some. So, okay, let's see. Let me pull this up too. I was looking at this because it's just something you know, when you're looking at these kind of things, you have to, unfortunately, we have to look at this. Where is it at? Here we go. Now, this is in Montezuma. This is in the exact area code where this baby is. And there are, let me see, there are 7, which seems a little light to me, but 7 registered predators. So people that watch and tune in, they know what that stands for. So there's 7. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm not going to keep them up on the screen because I don't want any stuff, but it is public information. It's a public webpage. But do we know if there's any in the trailer home?
In the trailer park, there are 4 registered sex offenders that I am aware of.
Predators?
Yes. Under the age of 18.
The victim under the age of 18.
Yeah, the victim's under the age of 18.
I want to see if that shows. I'm not going to show it on this side, but I wonder if okay, so there is 1. And none of them have the address of, I don't know,
the trailer park.
Yeah. So, but I mean, a lot of times people in the trailer court, I mean, I grew up in trailer homes. Well, I didn't grow up, but I've lived in trailer homes throughout my life, my childhood. And it's like a wildfire. Everybody knows everybody's business. Everybody sitting on their porch looking. It's similar to the projects. Everybody knows what's going on. Everybody looking for, hey, what's going on, hanging out. It's not an old folks community, So, I mean, if there's creepers around, people are going to say, hey, watch out for that guy. Yeah. So is there okay, let's do this. I want to watch a video. If I can, let's try to do this. I wanted to watch this together and kind of see what you thought. This was the first week. Let me see. This is the first week. And I just kind of want to see what your thoughts are about it. If I can get it. Let me see. Okay.
There were weekly screaming matches between Xavior Harrleson and his mom, Sarah. Her son was reported missing 6 days ago. KCRG TV9's Ethan Stein is live at the Spruce Village Trailer Park where Xavier was last seen and tells us more about the role that he plays in his mother's life. Ethan?
Nicole Beth, the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation, clarified that it was a neighbor, not the mother, who originally reported Xavier Harrleson missing. Neighbors say they heard the missing 11-year-old boy and his mom argue often in the home where only 2 people lived there on the back trailer of trailer number 8. Police dogs searched their home again yesterday.
So do you kind of want to, well, I guess let's just watch this and then I will ask.
Yesterday, they also searched the whole mobile home community as well. We spoke with the person who reported Xavier missing. She knows Xavier's mom, Sarah. She says the mom is an amputee who has trouble putting on her prosthetic leg. That means her 11-year-old son acted as her caretaker.
Things that she can't do, he helps with, and Xavier knows that. And he knows that, he's not just her son, that he's her other leg.
Okay, real quick, I just want to say, can you, how did, and this goes back to timeline, how did Samantha become involved? Sarah noticed Xavier was gone 11:30 a.m. she wanted before she called police, and she regrets this, before she called police, she wanted to do a look on her own. And then I will let you take it from here. But just what are your thoughts? And I do want to say too, we do not want to minimize anything that Samantha has done at all, because regardless, I'm not the judge and jury of motive, period. I'm not. But she does know this baby. She has spent time with him, and she is still out there. And good, bad, or indifferent, she's still saying Xavier, and that is what's important. So, but just to give a little context from somebody else's point of view, or maybe Sarah's kind of point of view, so to speak, Go ahead.
So Sarah had called Samantha a little before 4:30 in the afternoon to see if she would go look for Xavier, because he hadn't been seen since. He walked out the trailer door. There's bells on Sarah's front door. She was not in the room at the time, but it was 10:38. Her phone was right in front of her, so she heard the bells at 10:38. That's when he went out to play. He didn't have his bike with him when Sarah started looking for him, and so Xavier's had to stay on the road that they lived on, so that if Sarah was looking for him, all she had to do was holler out the door,
and I just want to be able to come. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm so sorry, but I just want to point this out also. You did not get on scene, or you did not get there, did not get notified until late, 10 o'clock, something like that. So I just want to put out there, this is what you have been told. This is what you are aware of the situations. I just want to throw that out there. So
approximately a little before 4:30 in the afternoon, she called Samantha to see if she'd go look for Xavier, because she knew that Samantha would, because she wasn't able to. She didn't have a vehicle.
Right.
She can't put her leg on anymore because of the infection and stuff. She actually needs a new piece for her prosthetic leg. That's neither here nor there.
Sure.
And as far as Xavier being her caregiver, that was just Xavier. Sarah gets around better with one leg than I do with two. So with that being said, some of it's being exaggerated.
But in the essence of a missing child, though, Samantha was a lot quicker on her feet. She had a vehicle. You know what I'm saying? So,
and she knew the people that Sarah wanted to make sure were checked. The right. Places that. So, and as far as Xavier going to the lake, I don't believe that he'd go to the lake by himself, because years before, he had an incident. I wasn't there, but from what I've been told, the adults were up by the house and the kids were playing in the pasture. Mm-hmm. There was a pond in the pasture. Xavier fell into the pond.
Oh, wow.
And had a close call by the time the adults got down there. And that was prior to Sarah losing her leg.
Right.
So I do not believe for a second that he'd get close enough to the water without somebody being around him.
And I just want to clarify this too. He is not on a spectrum at all.
No.
Yes. So it's not like Orion Larkin, that baby is also missing. And he's on the spectrum. But with the almost drowning scare, he would probably be apprehensive. So she calls Samantha. She gets involved. She goes and starts telling people, and then you pick it up from there.
Okay. So when Samantha starts looking, from my understanding, she came back to the trailer and was talking to Sarah, and Sarah asked Samantha to go check one more place. Mm-hmm. And then she was going to call the police.
Okay.
Instead of Samantha going and checking that one more place, on her way, she saw a Poweshiek County Sheriff's deputy, and she flagged him down. She did not call. She flagged the officer down and said, "Hey, look, we have a missing child. It's been long enough. We need to get some help."
Right. And hey, I said, I've talked to you, that timeline, and you know, there was an issue in the past. I'm not going to speak on it because I don't know that it's relevant. And if it was relevant, we're not talking about investigation stuff. There was a history to where Sarah's potential custody might have been in jeopardy. We'll say that because I don't know, and I don't want to know. And that was her initial, well, this is what you have been told, which has been relayed to me. That was initially why she was apprehensive about involving the police, because she just thought he was going to be in at one of the trailer homes, because here in a second, you're going to see some of the neighbors say this. And when we finish this interview, or this, you know, the video we're watching, but she just stupidly, bad decisions she made a judgment error that she can never take back. She can never get back those hours, and she drowns in guilt, from what I have been told. Yes. And she was just didn't want to overreact. She wanted to make sure that he wasn't in just one of these houses before she had a potential neglect charge on her hands. And the baby just was in somebody's trailer. Now, I'm not agreeing with this. I'm not saying that I would have done it. Absolutely no, I wouldn't have. It wouldn't have mattered to me. But I can't expect what I would do in a hypothetical situation. It's hypothetical. I've never been through that. And I can't expect what I would do out of somebody else. Everybody responds differently. So you want to say anything else on that? And then we can watch the rest of this? Go ahead.
So, in my opinion, I honestly believe that Sarah didn't want to overreact, that she thought that he had just gone somewhere that he wasn't supposed to, which was out of character now. But you're also talking about a 10-year-old child versus a 4 or 5-year-old.
Yeah.
You know? So
I think it's like a false sense of security too. You go out, you play, you say they come in, and it's no worries. Everybody knows everybody. You have the same routine every day.
And it's a small town.
It's a small area where he is at constantly.
Yep.
So she made a bad decision, and she has told you this. She is, how could you not feel there's nothing that we'll ever do, like that. It's her guilt. It's hers. It's solely hers, so. Yeah.
And so, like I said, she hasn't moved. She was in the hospital for a little while. She does stay at the trailer normally. There have been a couple times that myself or a couple other real good close friends have gone and gotten her and taken and said, hey, you just need to get away for a little while. Like I've stated before, I don't care. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion.
Right.
But at the end of the day, all that matters is finding Xavier and bringing him home. And that is exactly what his mom will tell you.
Oh, and also I wanted to say too, there's a thing with the trailer to where if you're not buying your home, you have to move. If you're not buying your lot and keeping your trailer there, anybody has to move. At least that's what you're told to. So maybe that's where some confusion is coming with she was moving, she moved, which none of this again is finding Xavier. I mean, let the police deal with the optics of it, So okay.
It's like I said, if you can be on social media and throw out different theories and whatever your opinion is, then you have time to hit the share button on his missing flyer and social media wise.
Yes.
And if you've got enough time to sit there and throw out your own theories, then you have enough time on your hands to pass out flyers in your local community.
Or sign the change.org link, which we are going to talk about in just a second. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start this, get through this, and just kind of, we're like halfway through. It's not too bad.
Rick says Xavier was close with his mom. She says the relationship was full with plenty of love. However, at the same time, neighbors say the yelling was sometimes so significant that Xavier would sometimes try to go to another trailer in the mobile home park community to try to get
And you don't
away.
have to speak to their relationship.
If they were aware of the situation. They did say they were aware of the situation at home, but could not confirm or deny any specific information. Live in Montezuma, Ethan Stein, KCRG.
I'm going to let this play because they're going to tell about.
Here's another look at Xavier Harrleson. Again, anyone with information should call the Poweshiek County Sheriff's Office at the number you see here on your screen, 641-623-2107.
Okay, and I'm just going to leave that there, and then you can. Okay.
The only thing I have to say to that is, what parent has not had a loud argument with their preteen child?
Oh, God, yeah.
I have a granddaughter that will be 9 years old shortly, and her and I have screaming matches. And
sometimes you got to find your maturity, huh?
Yeah,
look for
right. And so to that I say, you know, what parent, like I said, what parent hasn't had a loud argument with their preteen child?
And I'm sure every neighbor of probably every other trailer in that community could say the same thing about their other neighbors. You know?
Yep.
I mean, I'm not saying it's right. Of course it's not right. We should all be able to especially deal with our kids in a loving and gentle way. That's not reality constantly. It's just, you know, it's just not. And, you know, it's, who am I to speak on the relationship she had with her son? You know, that's hers. Let me see. It seemed like, okay. Okay, is there anything else you want to say about the timeline, anything like that? And then I'm just going to try to catch people up on the latest that's come out, talk about the reward. And
the only thing I have left to say is, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is finding Xavier. Lord only knows, you know, they could cut his hair, dye his hair, whatever. He has the most beautiful blue eyes, and you can't change that.
no,
he is a kind soul, a loving soul. He always could make a bad day better just by saying something, telling you a story, whatever. He could make your worst day. On your worst day, he could make you laugh. That was just Xavier. Xavier is a kind-hearted, loving, and trusting young man. And all we want at the end of the day is for him to come home. And that's not just me speaking, that's his entire family. Right. We don't care what happened. We want him home where he is loved. Right. And he's loved not only by his family, his immediate family, his extended family, but those of us that like to call ourselves family.
Right.
The non-traditional family, you know. I might not be blood, but I'll tell you what, Xavier and his brother both, as do a few other children over the years, hold a special place in my heart, and there's nothing that I wouldn't do. And Xavier, if you're hearing this by chance, buddy, we're not stopping until we find you. We are looking, and we're not going to stop until we find you and bring you home. That I promise you.
Thank you. I was going to say, I was going to do that. How is Dad and Mom? How are they holding up? Do they need anything? And I want to say too, guys, there is no GoFundMe's. There's none of this. You can donate directly to the reward fund, which is like $30,000 if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it's over 34 now.
Wow. I know they generated 5,000 and some change at the benefit, which was amazing. I hate that I did not get the one of the stage. I could not find that picture anywhere, and I didn't have time to screenshot it. But how is Sarah and brother? You know how he's got an 18-year-old brother. I imagine
Day
they
by
would have been
day,
hoot, you know?
a minute by minute basis, it changes. I've spent enough time with Sarah and Travis and Josh. I've spent more time with Sarah than the other two, but it changes from minute to minute. And all I can say is they're doing better than me, because I'll tell you what, if it was one of my children or one of my grandchildren, you'd probably have to pull me out of the bottom of the whiskey barrel, not the bottle, the barrel.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
And one more thing, I've heard lots of people say, what is Sarah doing? I can tell you personally, because she has been with me. She has gone with me to pass out flyers. She's gone with me to distribute flyers to other people to distribute them. We have flyers, we have business cards, we have iron-on t-shirts, we have t-shirts, we have window clings.
very cool.
I wish I would have taken pictures of my van. I have a window cling on both my back windows, the side windows of the van, and one on the back. And as soon as I can convince my husband that I need it, I'm going to have one on the middle of my hood.
Right. He'll come around. He'll come around for sure.
He's got one on each side of the back windows of his pickup that he drives an hour each way to work every day, 5 days a week. My husband, who, my favorite thing is I bought him a t-shirt or a sweatshirt that says, "Do I look like a freaking people person?" That is my husband. But I'll tell you what, since Xavier's been missing, he's been dropping off flyers. So the rest areas won't let you hang them in Iowa. But
Really?
they have those free hotel coupon books outside the hotel.
Right.
So he'll stop every couple days and stuff a bunch of flyers in those, so that when you go in to get one of those, you got to move Xavier's flyers to get to them.
It's funny, you think some men are so pent up, and they, they're just kind of, and then, something happens that tugs their little heartstrings, and they just become like a whole different, you're like, I didn't even know you could do that.
Yep.
Oh, God. So, what was I going to say? Is there any upcoming anything? We're fixing to look at the change.org. And then I'm going to read the new DCI that came out. What am I trying to do here? Okay, let's do that. And let's look at this. And all of this stuff will be linked in the description below, so everybody can check it out. And it'll be the official Finding Xavier Facebook page. It'll have the petition to change the law and the Amber Alert criteria, which is exactly what we are looking at right now. And there is going to be requests for the flyers. So all of this wonderful information and how you can donate directly to the reward fund, all of this stuff is going to be in the description box. So please utilize these wonderful links. And we 1,500 signatures. We already have 1,329. So wonder why. The next step. I was fixing to say I took the first one. I thought I did. That's why it says the next. I'm glad I didn't show that, because it shows my actual name. So not that it matters. Really, I'm not that hard to find. Change Amber Alert criteria for better nationwide coverage for missing children. I'm going to tell you something. I could not agree more with this. Everybody and their mama is looking for this baby out of East Tennessee, which is where I'm from, Tennessee. And Amber Alert activated 126 federal agencies activated, everything activated. It's at the state's discretion. So this is a good thing. And I think that this is, if there is a silver lining to these cases, it's the change in legislation. I mean, and for me, it could actually, we just have Evelyn's Law in Tennessee. I mean, there's so many good ones. So let's read about this one. I made this petition to make sure that the guidelines and criteria for Amber Alerts change. This issue affects every missing child and didn't have an Amber Alert made for them. We need change now. Please sign with others. Xavier Harrleson went missing on a wet, rainy, colder than normal day, 11 a.m., May 27th, 2021. He is 4 foot 9 inches tall. He weighs 100 pounds, brown hair, and the most beautiful blue eyes you've ever seen, according to Darcy. Because of today's guidelines, the criteria for the Amber Alerts, there wasn't one issued for Xavier. And hey, guess what? There still isn't one because there's no vehicle description. There's no known suspect. So, but in the Summer Wells case, that vehicle came out, a week later, maybe longer than that, a week and a half. But even then, they're not saying that they're a suspect. They just want to talk to them. So it's not even like an official bolo. Let me finish reading. Xavier is extremely loved. Let's see. Without like a vehicle in the description or known suspect, Xavier is extremely loved, very missed by his family. We have all come together as a community to share his space on social media. We've had filters made, handed them out to everyone who is willing to take them, and hung them all over Iowa. We've asked out-of-state friends and family to print off more flyers and hang them in their area as well. There's also a Facebook group created to help spread awareness about Xavier. That to date has 11,000 people nationwide in it. Amazing. Let's see. This is still only a fraction of the people it could have reached with an Amber Alert. And guys, this shit is so important. And it takes, in a sense, it takes pressure off the community because like they're coming out of all this money and resources, which is great. It's good people give, but at the same time, like the benefit that was out of their donations, out of their own pockets and things like that. When, we all know the first 48 hours of them, really the first 24 hours of a missing child are the most critical. So I feel that if the Amber Alert guidelines and criteria were different, that Xavier's face and description could have gotten out a lot faster and spread out a wide range of people in short amount of time than what are able to do right now, than what we are able to do right now. Xavier needs to come home. Yes, Lord. Xavier needs to come home. More people need to be aware that he is missing so that he can be found and brought home to a family that aches to hold him again, to see him smile, laugh, and tell his silly stories. Please help us change something good and make it better, not just to help Xavier, but to all the other missing children with families who love and miss them. So there's that. So let me hop back over here. Whew. So there's that. Please, everybody that watches this, sign this, share this video, get it out. Share on your Facebook platforms. There, like I said, the links will be in the bottom. Now let's look at this. What is most recently came out. I'm going to tell, and those of y'all that are not familiar with this case, get prepared to be enraged at the lack of presence. Now, I'm going to say this, just like Breasia Terrell. I do think it's important, like Breasia Terrell. They outlined a timeline of exactly what happened with this baby and exactly what the investigators were doing in the meantime. So I say that to say, of course, I don't think the police are not doing anything, okay? And they very well may be just sitting on information, and that's fine, but the public's got to, there's a lot of missing babies found in another state.
11-year-old Xavier Harrleson. KCCI's Laura Terrell sat down with the assistant director of the Iowa DCI for an update on the search for the missing Montezuma boy.
Yes, Steve, the Iowa DCI says even 6 weeks in, they are doing a lot of work behind the
6
scenes. His face still covers thousands of flyers, but no one has seen Xavier Harrleson in person since May 27th.
It's obviously suspicious, and we're treating it as such and have since the very beginning.
Mitch Morfett, the assistant director of the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigations, says agents are still working full-time to find the missing Montezuma boy.
We are working on it every day, and the public may not see that, the community may not see that. And since it is an ongoing investigation, there's a lot that we can't say at this point.
Back in May, the search brought hundreds to Poweshiek County.
Small towns around here. So
One day.
comes together.
6 weeks later, the
4 hours.
continues to rally, raising now more than $34,000 for a reward fund.
Thank you.
Authorities say they've combed through hours of video and interviewed hundreds of people.
That's my.
Literally probably almost everybody
Hold
in
on.
town, let alone,
Let me pause it.
friends of the
What, hun?
That's my van setting out front of Sarah's trailer.
Oh, okay.
That's the van setting park. That's my vehicle.
Oh, okay. This right here?
Yep.
Okay. So, and she's what, 8 trailers in?
Yeah.
Okay.
And interviewed hundreds of people.
We've interviewed literally probably almost everybody in town, let alone, friends of the family.
But nailing down exactly where Xavier vanished has been a challenge.
It's been a little difficult on pinpointing an exact timeline of when Xavier was last seen, where he was seen at.
With few clues to go.
Do you have anything to
authorities-
say? You want to say anything about that?
Okay. The few things that I do have to say to that is, number one, I myself called the Poweshiek County tip line and left my name and contact information. I still, to this day, have not been contacted by them. Now, I'm not saying that they're not doing anything, because I do know for a fact that they are checking into things. Last 2 weeks ago, Thursday,
You don't
Okay,
have to
the third-
be mindful,
okay. So, we became aware of a tip, and I drove with Sarah to the other side, to the eastern side of the state of Iowa, and spoke to the chief of police of another small town to make sure that these sightings of Xavier were being looked into.
Right.
So I know that they're being looked into. But to sit there and say that they've interviewed all these people, okay, you're talking to people that have known Sarah for, maybe 4 or 5 years.
Right.
I've known Sarah 14 plus years,
Right.
as have a couple other people that I know that have called and said, given them the same information. Okay, so you don't want to talk to us? That's fine.
Well,
But
maybe in your case, they was like, well, they haven't had contact with her in a while, but at least ask you, but, I digress. I don't know.
I don't either. Like I said,
weird to me a little. I don't know. But you said there's other people also, so it's not just
Yeah.
you know.
It's not just me that hasn't been contacted. And that I can say that I know for upfront, because I've talked to these people
Right.
myself. So, and like I said, I do know that they are following up on the sightings and stuff. If you want my opinion, and this is just my opinion as to why there's been such a lack of the police making comments, the authorities making comments, is because there was some missteps in the beginning within the first 48 hours of this investigation. And they don't want the public outlash that would cause, knowing that these missteps were taken.
Well, and maybe, maybe mom wasn't the only one that felt like there was an overreaction. Maybe they thought he had just ran away and he would turn up.
I still feel that they think that he ran away. And I'm telling you, I know this child. he wouldn't run away.
Here's the thing. Even if he did, he's 10. He needs to be found.
Right.
He's no less important because he chooses to leave as opposed to goes against his own will and somebody chunks him in a car. Kids can find themselves into a whole slew of mess all on their own. And, you know, he could have set out to be mad at his mom and huff his little hands. And then next thing you know, he
ran into somebody that, hey, I see the opportunity and I'm going to take him.
It happens all the time. You know, I've said this 100 times on the channel, you know, end results the same. I don't care if they've run away 5,000 times. I understand you're tapped the resources with the shitty ass kid that doesn't want to listen. I'm not saying Xavier. I'm talking about that's how they, you know, habitual runaways, teenagers, but they snub their nose. Why? They're not less important because they have crap's happening at home. You know, there's a reason they're habitually running away.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's
and this is the first time Xavier. I was going to say this is the first time Xavier's ever gone missing.
Yeah, I mean, he's never been missing. He's never ran away. He's always, you know, in the trailer park from everything I've been told. I mean, so, and I think too, I mean, but he's 10. You cannot even dare think about this like you would a habitual runaway. He's 10, for crying out loud. I mean,
he turned 11 3 days after he went missing. That was a hard one. I spent early the morning of May 30th on the phone with Sarah, his mom. And we just sat and cried because tried not to imagine the horrible things that he's going through. Instead of being at home celebrating his birthday. Like I said, at the end of the day, all that matters is finding him and bringing him home.
The only thing that matters. Oh, man. Do you even want to finish this damn video, this article? No, I'm joking. I'm just trying to damper a little. I'm teasing, but
I know it's kind of like so this other platform that we were talking about that assumed that I was Sarah Xavier's mom when the family was on the stage the night of the benefit. The things that she said were so hurtful and so totally off. You know, I'm not his mom. I love him. And I want to find him, as does his parents and his extended family. The hurtful comments and the accusations that were made were just horrendous, not only towards myself, and this is where the mommy claws come out in me, but the comments that she made about his brother and his behavior on stage. She has no clue as to what Josh or anybody else in this family is going through. She doesn't have the right to judge any of us.
No.
There was a time I was trying to fight back tears while I was on stage listening to what Travis had wrote as it was being read. And there was a time and point that I almost started laughing. And the whole reason that occurred was because I was trying to stay upbeat and positive. And I was recounting a story that had occurred when Xavier was between the age of 3 and 5. And at the time, you could run a circle on the first floor of my house from one room to the next. Mm-hmm. Xavier had gotten in trouble and mom was chasing him. So mom went one way and I went the other. And that little turd still managed to avoid either one of us catching him.
Oh my God.
So then we trapped him, and the only place for him to go was upstairs. Well, once he ran upstairs, he was had for, because didn't matter what room you ran into, you were stuck. There was no way out.
He was jumping out a window, huh?
Yeah, right. So, and So I'm recounting that story, and then in the back of my head, I hear it happened to be one of my husband's knickknacks that got broke, that Xavier got in trouble for. And in the back of my head, all I hear is my husband saying, "Why is it always my stuff that gets broke or lost?" And I did. I almost started laughing because it was,
my husband
you know,
would say, "We can't have nothing."
on that same visit, he Xavier took, it was right after we switched over to digital, and you had to have the conversion boxes
Right.
for the old style TVs. He lost the remote to the conversion box. When we moved out of that house years later, we still never found that remote.
Oh, wow.
What Xavier did with it is above and beyond me, but it was gone.
That is so funny. That is so stinking funny. I forgot what I was going to say too. Here's the deal. Even if it would have been Sarah sitting in the chair, it's not fair to say that she, did something to her own son. It's not fair to say that brother did, their dad did. It's not fair to say, you know what? You look guilty. You just look guilty because I say so. That's insanity. It's hurtful. This is real life for y'all. This is real life for y'all. You picking what you explained to me earlier when you got there and you made her leave the house. It was like picking up a ball of slime and just like a ball of emotion and mush and guilt and sadness and anger and confusion and anxiety. These are real emotions for everybody involved. We are talking about a missing child. There's a disconnect. So it's just irresponsible, and I appreciate you addressing it. I know that you had tried to handle it appropriately and email and things like that, and it didn't kind of work out necessarily how you felt. And that's okay. People are entitled to post whatever they want. 1,000%. You're entitled to create whatever you want. But I'm just merely pointing out the reckless, heartless nature of that. Just, vicious venom at people who are not even named persons of interest or not even named suspects. In fact, that we don't, they're named the family. That's who they are. Their names are the family until otherwise. The police may come out and say all this stuff tomorrow. I'm not going to eat one bit of my word because I'm not going to put out information, or I'm not going to invent things because it's happening or sexy or it sells. It's reckless. It's reckless. It's just real life for y'all. It's real life.
And I appreciate the way that because I know that you've talked before on your platform about an anonymous person. That's me. Right. And I appreciate the way and the manner that you've dealt with this. I've never been treated with disrespect or accusations or anything like that from you. However, there are those that choose to do what you do that need to stop and think about what they're doing, because all they're out for is to make a buck off of somebody else's pain.
Perhaps. And I tell you right now, if there were ever anything that would help anybody consider what we do, advocacy, really, awareness is basically what I try to do. Awareness, advocacy, change, legislation, things like that. And for our youth and, sensitive issues, all kid issues. If they were to do that, if there were any kind of credibility given to people like us that really do have our hearts in the right place, they suck it dry.
Yeah.
And they shit on it for others. Well, they don't shit on it for me, because the people who tune in here, they're loyal and they have hearts and they care. And guess what? It ain't about Leave It to Beaver. It ain't about Beaver. It's not about Beaver. It's
about the missing kids.
It's about the babies. Okay, I guess I'm going to finish this, and then I guess we'll do little final thoughts. Let's see.
Need the public's help.
we feel confident that there is somebody out there that knows something, if not more than one person. We want to bring Xavier home.
And Xavier's parents have remained quiet publicly, declining interviews. His father did thank the community for their support in a written statement last week. Anyone with information related to Xavier's disappearance should call the Poweshiek County Sheriff's Office at.
I just want to say this too. Everybody's got venom for Sarah. Travis is also choosing not to do this publicly. And guess what, guys? It's their right. They don't owe us nothing. They don't owe us anything. So, and listen, why? Come out, why? So you could be attacked and, scrutinized and convicted in the court of public opinion before you even open your mouth. There's like example after example. Everybody sees the dumpster fire going on with the Summer Wells case. And listen, I see red flags too. And I say things too. I'm wrong. I'll say I'm wrong any day of the week, but opinions, and which I guess opinions are okay, but there are some channels like flat out doing insanity. Well, this one looks. This one did it. This one's smiling, I think. Or I had a feeling. I had this. It's just reckless. I mean,
At 641.
I digress.
One of the comments that was made on that particular channel was that I wanted the attention. And that's so far from the truth.
Because everybody loves to be a part, to just have their loved ones go missing, especially, innocent 11-year-olds. It's just trendy. Like, do people even use their brain cells when they speak? I get what people, I have seen some people, but listen, at the end of the day, even if I'm not here to judge motive, the end result's the same. Whether you're feeling you're getting attention or not, guess what? You're still getting Xavier's name out there. But It's not like that, because if it was like that, you'd be on every news station. There's been some few people on every freaking news station. There, you would be here, you'd be there. Guess what? Here's something else too. There would be GoFundMe's. There'd be this. There'd be that. There'd be a lot of things going on with this. So it's just not there.
The only thing that we've asked for is donations for the
reward
auction to go straight to the reward fund.
Yes.
We've asked for help with stamps, postage to mail flyers, and we've asked for help with donations of purchasing and mailing manila envelopes and regular business size envelopes so that we can distribute the flyers. And we aren't, that's all has to do with Molly's movement. They are the ones that are in control of it.
And that's
we're not asking for cash for anything.
None of it's
other than the reward fund
at all. I mean, so I think that's amazing. So is there any immediate needs that Sarah has or anything? Is there any is there any final thoughts? Is there anything the family needs? I just want to say right now from this channel, regardless of how it turns out, we're in this for Xavier, that smiling blue-eyed baby on that screen right there, who seems like he is so super friendly and outgoing and zany. It's like, I can just kind of like read, through his pictures.
Yep.
And it's just that, it's so
the only thing we need.
Like, what happened? Like, what happened to this baby?
The only thing that we need is everybody to be on the lookout for Xavier so that we can bring him home. That's all that's important. Sorry.
No, don't apologize ever for anything, please.
He is such a kind and loving, gentle, helpful child.
And he's a child,
We just want him home so that we know that he's with people that love him. And we just want him home.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Darcy, thank you so much for coming on. We are going to continue to follow this baby's case, and we're not going to stop. And moving forward, if any craziness comes out on your Facebook, or as another content creator, one of my favorites, Judy Ron, calls it fake book. It's amazing. But we're going to, you know what? We're not even going to dive in. People are going to say what they're going to say. We're just going to be bigger. You've said what you've had to say. You have said what you feel about all this toxic energy. It's not helpful. It's not finding Xavier. And if you want to keep spewing the venom, feel free, because what is it? Was that for me and mine? We serve the Lord. Well, just change it for us over here. We're just going to look for this baby, because all this drama, it just, you're looking, oh, this is nice. Oh, they're doing this. They're doing this. They're hanging flowers here. That's great. And then you look and you're like, what do you mean that their bicycle was found here? What do you mean this, what? You shouldn't have to be addressing negativity. What do you mean? Somebody said on a YouTube channel that I did something to this child. I mean, people tell you these things. It's not like you're just sitting around looking. They will tell you, this is what's happening. This is what such and such is saying. And it just takes away. It takes away from the main goal and focus, and that's Xavier. Blaming people that have been vetted. It's not helpful. And I would, the platform is open to Sarah, as you know. Do with it what you will, but we're going to be supportive of the family, because this was Xavier's family. It's about Xavier. It's not about ego and, who can get the most clicks. It's not about that. It's about the baby. So thank you for coming on. You're more than welcome to come anytime. And we talk behind the scenes, and thanks for doing this. Thanks for choosing us, and just thank you for being a voice for this sweet baby.
Thank you for being supportive and not supporting the negativity that's out there. I watch things every so often that people have brought to my attention, and I've decided that it's not worth my time anymore.
It's just not.
Other than there is one creator that I want to see face the reality. She needs, instead of assuming, you need to know your facts before you start opening your mouth.
Well, you know your words affect people.
Yep.
Well, and a lot of times things just work themselves out, sometimes. Yeah. And I mean, I hope that I hope that they are, man, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I hope to God, whether they say it openly or not, I feel like you did it publicly. You should probably apologize for it publicly, but I digress. Just as long as you're growing inside as a person, and you don't have to do this and have another family go through, anguish and just all this bullshit. It's just disgusting. It's toxic. But people love toxic. So there you go. But over here, we just want the babies found. So thank you so much, Darcy. We will talk again, and I hope you have a great night.
I hope you have a good night too.
All right, hon.